You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go! Who will win Game of the Year? And welcome to Podcast PXN episode 220. I am one of your hosts, the independent video essayist from Portland, Oregon, and video producer at DualShockers. I should update my own bio, I guess, on my own personal intro. What have you. And I'm joined over Discord by Kentucky's #1 Spartan, PXN founder, Daniel Prindle, a.k.a. Dan is DTM.
Goaty.
Not to be confused with Goatsy, which you should definitely not Google.
Whoa. I don't know what that is, but I'm not going to.
Exactly. We also, today, forming out the triplet here, or I guess the trio, the menage a trois, the president of the Tifa Lockhart fan club. He's the Nintendo aficionado and artist extraordinaire at Roro.
Hello. I'm dressed as Steve Urkel today because it's freezing in my
Did I do that? I was just thinking about Steve Urkel this week, so what a reference.
Really?
Wow. It was. Anyway, no quartet today. Gage is out sickies. He's not actually sick. He's a hard worker, you know. They've been working him out over there in that factory. He's sleepy, he's tired, deserves some rest. But he may be dropping by in chat, so if you see him, say hello. Until then, though, thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN. We're also live streaming simultaneously over at twitch.tv/podcastpxn. The topic of the show this week, fellas, of course, the Game Awards 2023 winners predictions. Last week on the show, episode 219, we went through and predicted all the world premieres and announcements, what have you. You can check that out. But this week we'll be doing what actual winners are going to be in the show, and we're talking about the actual awards. But more on that later. Until then, the show always starts with a quick bite, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Fellas, less quick bites today for two reasons. One, it's Game Awards week, and I am now in the industry. It's getting busier on my end, so I've been busier doing stuff. Number two, last time we did this, it took us a while to get through the nominees on the actual topic of the show, so I decided, you know what, let's just cut down on some of the news. We'll focus on some of the bigger ones and news of the week, and then move into TOTS itself. So, a few items here. Here we go. Trailers for the Fallout Amazon Prime series and Halo Season 2 series have been released. Bummer that Gage is not here because I know he's a big fan of the Fallout series. But Daniel, I know you're excited for, I think, both of these. So if you have any thoughts, please fire them away.
Yes, absolutely. Fallout is one of my favorite franchises. The games are awesome. I absolutely love that world. And this trailer definitely captures the world very well. Like the set design and all the costumes and everything looks amazing. I love the variety of the creatures that they're already showing off in this trailer because obviously the Wasteland has tons of different, mutated beings out there that you have to fight. So it's cool that they already have a look at some of those. And also I liked how they kind of have a little bit of a snippet at the early goings of the what happens, when the bombs drop with the nuclear explosions. Maybe calling up Christopher Nolan and saying, "Hey, how'd you do that over there on your film?"
Controlled explosives, Daniel. Yeah. Nothing but controlled explosives. Ro, do you have any thoughts on either of these trailers?
I've only seen the Fallout one actually, so I haven't even seen the Halo Season 2 trailer yet. But I did think the Fallout trailer was good. I was impressed by it, even though I'm not a huge Fallout guy. It seemed like it was nailing the tone, as Dan was saying. So yeah, I'm interested to see it. I might honestly watch it. Looks kind of cool, even though I'm not a huge Fallout guy. But that's kind of my 2 cents, I guess, as not being a Fallout guy.
Just real quick on the Halo trailer, very optimistic for it. I'm not saying it's going to be great. I'm not saying that I'm very excited for it. Very optimistic for it. It seems like the direction they're taking with Season 2 is better. and the comments made by the showrunner of it being more dark and gritty tone seems to be a better direction. So we'll see, obviously, but first trailer looks good.
This reminds me, what was it recently that said this is? It was Spider-Man 2. Never mind. We'll see if Halo lives up to their promise of doing a darker show.
Uh-oh.
Fortnite news, because Fortnite is pretty huge in the games industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Massive. Of course, Eminem and Peter Griffin are now in Fortnite, which is just an insane sentence to read. With Solid Snake coming soon in the underground season. I think it's at this point like 50 or 40 something days away before he drops. But as of right now, play as Peter. Also, just side note, when is Homer Simpson being added? That'd be sick.
Only amount of time now.
Only amount of time. But with the new season and the Big Bang event came the announcement of 3 new Fortnite games. Here we go. The first is Lego Fortnite. Yeah, the world itself, or not all of it, but like the buildings and such of the world and the characters you play out are all Lego, which is just kind of fun. I saw a few TikToks about it. The second is Rocket Racing, made by Psyonix, the team behind Rocket League. You can now do like races coming soon in Fortnite. And last is Fortnite Festival. This is a new music game made by Harmonix, again the studio behind Rock Band. And I myself am really excited for Rocket Racing until Daniel pointed out very quickly that like, doesn't it also kind of suck that these developers are made to develop games, not on their actual like games themselves? And I realized that does blow. Personally, I think I would love to see a Rocket Racing mode in Rocket League itself. I understand it. Epic owns them, and it's probably a lot easier for them to just jump from Fortnite into Rocket Racing. You have all the modes available there. At the same time, though, it's like, okay, well, if these developers are working hard to make these kinds of modes, don't they deserve to live and thrive even on their existing platforms for their respective games? So good call out from Daniel there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was just honestly blown away by these 3 modes like being available for free within Fortnite. Like as someone who doesn't play it that much, even though I don't play that much, and if somebody asked me, "Hey, Rashan, do you play Fortnite?" I would probably say no, but I always come back to Fortnite at some point. Like if it's for a skin, like the last time I came was for like My Hero Academia stuff to play as with the Deco powers and stuff. And now I want to play the Rocket League or the Rocket League racing thing because I saw a clip of it online. I was like, this looks kind of fun. So I'm always impressed by like the stuff that they add to it, like even if it's the concerts and stuff like that. But that is a good point what Dan said. With in harmonic situation though, I was thinking like, would they be doing anything if it weren't for Epic? Like weren't they like kind of rocky before the purchase? I could be wrong. I could be like their studio's future was kind of rocky before Epic picked them up. I'm not too sure. I could be speaking on my butt. I was hoping you guys might know, but maybe we don't know.
I'm not sure, but
Okay.
I know that obviously since Rock Band 4, they really haven't done anything in
Right.
terms of big. I mean, they've continued to support Rock Band 4, which I guess is one good thing. Even now, they're still putting out new songs for Rock Band 4, but yeah, like the whole musical thing is the biggest one that I'm just like, I don't really care about this. Like why the whole allure to me of Rock Band and Guitar Hero and that kind of stuff is using like the instruments and doing that
With the
experience.
controller,
Yeah, and using a controller with just timed button masters that doesn't really do anything for
not
me.
as exciting.
I
That's true.
agree. All right. Where's my run of show here? Oh, I also put in the Big Bang event itself. You can watch that 11-minute video. Kind of cool of them to do this, and there's like full footage of like them going through all this stuff. One thing why I included this as well is that I saw, depending on what kind of skin you wore and what group you were with, it would show different stuff. And I saw I saw videos on TikTok of people who went in as a squad of 4 wearing like Spider-Verse costumes, and so it kind of made it look like they were going into like different, verses, like Spider-Verses. And that was kind of like a fun little side note there.
Very cool.
Last quick bite here. This is kind of some bad news. Twitch is ending support for all streaming in South Korea. This is effective February 27th, 2024. Also, next year's a leap year. So just putting that out there because I just remembered. In a letter to Korean streamers, Dan Clancy says, "We will work to help Twitch streamers in Korea move their communities to alternative live streaming services." Why are they doing this, guys? In short, money. But I can tell you right now, right here, this says, ultimately, the cost to operate Twitch in Korea is prohibitively expensive, and we have spent significant effort working to reduce these costs so that we could find a way for the Twitch business to remain in Korea. First, we experimented with peer-to-peer model for source quality. Then we adjusted source quality to a maximum of 720p. And while we have lowered costs from these efforts, our network fees in Korea are still 10 times more expensive than in most other countries, which has been operating in Korea at a significant loss. And unfortunately, there's no pathway forward for our business to run more sustainably in that country. And I kind of looked into it a little bit, and yeah, it does seem like it is just way more expensive to run anything internet related in Korea because of the Korean internet laws, practices, etc.
That's unfortunate.
I've seen a couple of South Korean Twitch streamers share their reaction to it, and the general consensus, obviously, it sucks, obviously, but they would have to either move platforms, like you were saying, but it's like you have to start over essentially, like, and
Yeah.
work to get partnership on that platform again. And not everyone is as big as the biggest South Korean Twitch streamer, so it's going to take a while to potentially build themselves back up, which sucks. And if they want to stay on Twitch, they would have to move to America or somewhere else,
Or a
which is
VPN.
like,
Would a
or
VPN
VPN,
work?
yeah.
I don't
I don't
even.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good
Yeah.
question, though.
But yeah, definitely sucks for the people who are doing this as like their livelihood.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's it for all our quick bites. We got one street meet, though. Before I click on it, though, do you care, Daniel?
No, I don't
No.
care. I was just voicing my frustration with people leaking stuff the day before,
Yes, that I think we talked about that a little bit. Did we talk about that live on the show, or was that in private? I can't remember.
I think we were talking about it with GTA as well because of that leak.
Right.
Yeah.
Dan's right. I think leaks right before. But there's been so many announcements this week, just like that I would imagine would be like kind of Game Awards related, but they're all been anyway. We have one street meet here. This is supposedly news for tomorrow, we believe. This comes from Clobril. New scoop on Project Shaolin, a third-person action RPG rumored in the making by Brass Lion Entertainment and Xbox Game Studios Publishing. The game is third-person melee-oriented RPG, features 4-player co-op, involves the Wu-Tang Clan members themselves with the game's soundtrack and more, which is sick. Features loot, unique combat abilities, etc. Losing me a little bit. Focus on having both music and combat intertwined. Hi-Fi Rush. Remember that game?
Yeah.
All 9 Wu-Tang Clan members are also playable. Social hub named The Neighborhood. An animation style somewhat similar to Into the Spider-Verse. So I would imagine some kind of like, maybe not cel-shaded, but you know what I mean. If they animate them differently, like on the 2s, that'd be sick as hell. The game is visually bright, colorful, and anime-like in style. Players can explore the vast world freely, and it's currently in alpha development stage. So we may get a look at that tomorrow in some capacity.
Do we know? I didn't look this up yet, but do we know? Have they made any other games before? I've never heard of them.
I haven't either. It's a first for me too, fam.
They are current projects working on an unannounced action RPG game, which I'm assuming is that. And they have one other game, Corner Wolves. Ever heard of that? Corner Wolves? Okay. Corner Wolves tells the story of young people growing up in the hood and how their lives are shaped and defined by the war on drugs as they are caught between dope dealers, hustlers, and overzealous police. Corner Wolves is coming as a narrative fictional podcast. Oh, it's a podcast. Okay. So this is the first game then. Assuming.
Exciting stuff. Kind of a shame that I guess it leaked early per se, because I think that would have been a really cool pop for the Xbox side to get something, on that caliber, something as unique as like I would have compared that, of course, to like Hi-Fi Rush. You know what I mean? Like that was a surprise. Like Tango. Anyway,
Yeah.
news of the week. I mean, come on. Biggest news this week is the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer just dropping hours earlier because it leaked online with by BTC. We have a live reacts up on our PXN YouTube channel. You can go watch that. Okay, this is weird.
Evan.
I could have sworn the trailer had more views than this when I saw this earlier. I don't know what changed or what happened. Maybe it was a different account. Anyway, current right now, I just refreshed the page. Rockstar Games' official Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer 1 has 9.86 million. That's why I'm looking at the subscriber count. Duh. Thank you. Yeah. The video has 114.1 million views. Yeah.
Insane.
That is an insane amount. That is absurd.
Yeah. And they broke the most views in 24 hours of any YouTube video. I think Mr. Beast previously had the record.
Absolutely insane. And we were talking about how, 24 hours as opposed to the original GTA 5 trailer that is now below that number over the span of 12 years. And this already beat it in 2 days, which is insane.
We're a couple days. Yeah. Danny, keep going.
I was just gonna say it's that fucking that big event, They do this every decade or so. That's the big event where everyone comes out.
Sure. We're a couple days out now. Have you seen the trailer again, Dan?
Yes.
Since it dropped?
Yeah.
How many times?
At least 3 or 4 times, in addition to what we watched live. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna imagine Bro has not seen it anymore.
I've watched it I'm watching it now, but I've watched it after we watched it that one time. I watched it once more, and now I'm watching it now. So 3 times. 3 times I've watched the trailer, and a couple of times on Twitter. It's just scrolling by,
Sure.
After it had to be posted on fucking Twitter, Fucking Elon.
Still impressive.
I'm not gonna talk about that. I'll say this. I've seen it a couple times too. My thoughts are still, I think, largely unchanged. It's just to reiterate from when we were watching it live for the reacts. This is still extremely impressive, specifically with the character models. Like, if you watch our reaction, the first time one of the main protagonists turns around, you can hear me yell, "Oh my god!" because of how insanely good she looks. And I had a friend of mine also hit me up who watched the trailer late, but his first exposure to the trailer was that it was a GIF of a couple of seconds where that girl is twerking on top of the car, and he thought that was real life.
Oh my
and
gosh.
As gamers, most of our lives, I would assume we've been saying, "Oh my god, this game looks real," or "Oh my god, this looks like real life," and that's gonna forever be the case with technology as things get better. Like we're still gonna get games 10, 15 years from now where we'll be saying this, but as of right now, games like Red Dead Redemption 2, games like The Last of Us Part 2, and now games like GTA 6, some of this stuff looks like real life. It is very impressive what they're doing with Rockstar's tech.
Yeah, I mean, a product of working on this game for 10 years, obviously they had Red Dead Redemption 2 in there, but obviously they had, I'm sure, a small team working on this for every bit of that 10 years. You give the developers the time and you got talented developers. This is your product. That water, every time I fucking see that water come up, I'm just amazed. Like the night shot of the water, it looks dark and ominous, and then the day shot of the water where it's fucking beautiful light blues, and you see the different, depth levels with sandy beaches appearing. Oh, so good.
when I watched the trailer the first couple of times, I was under the impression that most of it was like cutscenes and stuff, and then I'm learning that they usually show gameplay in their reveal
In-engine.
trailers and
Yeah.
in-engine stuff, and that just also blew me away because there's like the water, like Dan's talking about. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's just a cutscene, or that's just a pre-rendered something. It's like, no, that's possibly what how it's going to look when you're flying over the water. Like it's just that's insane to me.
Which leads me to ask, how are you guys viewing Grand Theft Auto 6? Are you looking at this like through the lens of, is this a sequel to RDR2? Or sorry, a follow-up to RDR2? Or are you kind of viewing this as a sequel to GTA 5? Like, I think that scope is going to change the way you end up experiencing GTA 6. Um, in multiple ways. Like, just like graphics wise, gameplay wise, I think maybe the shooting is a bit tighter in RDR2 compared to GTA 5. Some people liked it, some people didn't. But I think for me, like narratively, the stark difference between the like hyper real and hyper satirized reality of Los Santos compared to like the idyllic and quiet and meditative world of RDR2 are like very much different. And for all intents and purposes, this is kind of a follow up to RDR2. That is the most recent game from Rockstar. Is that going to change the way you kind of venture into GTA 6?
Hmm. I think I mean I love both of those games. Like both of those games are probably in my top 15 games of all time. Maybe like I'd have to write the list out, but like GTA 5's story I think is fantastic still to this day, and RDR2 the same way. That story is fantastic. So like I do agree with you, Christian, to an extent. It is a follow up to RDR2 in the sense that all the things that they learned while making RDR2, and the uniqueness of RDR2 when you're walking around that world and you run into like this random person that's in the swamps and you don't know what the fuck they're gonna do, and you get this cool side story that surrounds it, and like stuff like that I feel like will find its way in GTA 6, that they kind of evolved that formula, I guess, of like exploration and that kind of stuff with exploring the old west. But yeah, it's I think it's gonna be interesting, and maybe more depth too, because like going in buildings and stuff like that, that's never really been a big thing for GTA. So like that could be an avenue that they go down where you explore more buildings on the inside.
Whoa.
I think Gage sent a couple of leaks. I haven't seen any of the like supposed gameplay leaks at all. Not even like screenshots. Have you guys seen any of that stuff?
Just the ones that we covered like a year ago. Like there was a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be like a lot more like dense as well, right? Like in the city areas, like you can go into like more interior locations. Is that right?
I believe I think that's the rumor, yeah.
Dude, this game is gonna be massive. This game is like, I'm just watching it again. Like just like watching it on mute is like, this game is gonna be huge. Like this is gonna be like a statement piece. Like the last time a Grand Theft Auto released, so long ago. 12 years in between games, man.
Think about how
That's
old
crazy.
all of us were back then, like 10
High
years
school.
ago. Yeah. That's insane.
I was in college, but yeah.
Crazy. I to sort of answer your question earlier, I played a little bit of GTA 5. I liked the story fine. I didn't beat it, but you guys know, not a huge GTA guy, because I kind of really wasn't allowed to be a GTA guy because of how strict my parents were with letting me play M-rated games. But I loved RDR2, so this is going to be me kind of like trying to see if I can be a GTA guy if I do enjoy it. So it's me seeing if I'm going to like GTA as I'm older, I guess. But everything about RDR2, I hope gets put in GTA 6 because I love the systems that were in that game, and I thought the gameplay was more fun than GTA 5. Like how you're talking about the shooting and the controls, it felt tighter. I didn't love GTA's control scheme, so I'm hoping they maybe not fixed, but adjusted that a little bit for the new one.
I don't like either. Like I feel like in RDR2 it makes sense. Let me just say that it makes sense because of the story, like, and the slow pace and all of that. But like, I feel like if they port RDR2 controls into the GTA 6, I will not like that. If that's because it feels very slow, and like GTA is not.
Yeah,
that.
nor should they do that, right?
Yeah,
Like, yeah. I don't think they would.
yeah.
I'm watching it on mute again still. Very, very impressive game. I'm actually really I think it must have been Gage. I'm very curious to see what like the tech can do. I think he shared a video of GTA 4 and how water physics, worked. That's like a PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 game, and water physics in that game were pretty nuts. What more can we do in this game? And of course, it seems like based on this Tone Piece trailer, jiggle physics.
Let's go.
No, bro, I can't
Not
be
go.
horny. I'm scared of how horny I'm going to be like in games in the future.
It's getting too real.
Now that you say that, how did we get fucking 2 GTA games on that gen of consoles, and we didn't get any native game last gen at all? Like, well, I mean the GTA 5 port, but
of GTA or what do you mean? Red
GTA.
Dead?
I mean GTA specifically, but yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. The big, I think, question here is going to be also, will GTA Online be available at launch? And of course, I think the answer is no. It took forever for it to work. On GTA 5. I think even when the port released for like the at that point next gen consoles, PS4 and Xbox One, I think it also took some time for like GTA Online to even work. It will probably take some time before GTA Online comes up for 6. I'd imagine, but I don't know how. Like, that is an actual platform where people like you have an actual subscription available to buy in GTA 5 Online. You know what I mean?
So,
like, how there are like plenty of playlists and custom games made. Like, do you shift that over, or like?
Some people were saying that this idea is wild to me, that they're gonna keep GTA 5 Online up alongside GTA 6 Online. Do you think they would do that? I feel like that would kind of steal some of your customer base, would it not? Like some of your
I feel
double
like
dipping in that regard.
Yeah.
Didn't they like start shutting down certain parts of not the actual game, but like some features, like some website stuff for GTA, like the social network? I think they started shuttering.
They did transition to just be Rockstar Social Club, and
it's kind of the opposite. They're kind of preparing for GTA 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would imagine. I think you do have the two up concurrently, at least for a time, and then after a while, you phase out GTA 5 Online because you just gradually stop supporting it. I think there's still a large number of people who are on PlayStation 4 and Xbox Ones who don't have the new gen consoles yet, and probably won't by 2025. It's still a ways out, but still, like, you want to satiate that audience a little bit, and then over time, maybe into 2026, you bleed on over and start phasing out 5, and at that point, it's like, okay, they want you really to like get the new gen console and get Grand Theft Auto like ASAP. So a little bit of overlap, I'm sure.
Wait, one more thing to add.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Fucking think about this. This is coming near the end of this generation of consoles. 5 years in, like, we're gonna be what, 2 or 3 years from the end?
I don't know about that. It seems like consoles, like, I don't know. I think if anything, we're gonna let me backtrack a little bit. I think the housing market crash of 2008, which did play a factor in having console lives last a bit longer. We saw how long PS4 generation was because of the introduction of, the mid-generation upgrades. Now, with those two things in mind, and with things like COVID, and then like the chip shortage, I think we're kind of like just like naturally more and with how long games take to develop now as well. I think we're like kind of at a point where like game consoles just kind of last just marginally longer than they used to. I think if anything, we probably will see a mid-gen upgrade end of 2024, early 2025, somewhere around there. That's going to extend it by 2 or 3 years. So calling it like the end of the console lifestyle. It's probably like
Midway.
3/4 of the way. No, probably like 3/4 of the way. I would imagine. Yeah.
Okay.
That is insane to think about, though.
Yeah.
You saying that, yeah, it would be on the fifth. It would be the 5th year, or going into the 5th year.
Insane.
That's wild. That's wild. From some happy news into some absolutely devastating news. This comes from Rebecca Valentine at IGN. Bungie developers say that the atmosphere is soul-crushing amid layoffs, cuts, and fear of a total Sony takeover. This is a kind of a huge article where Rebecca Valentine touched base with a lot of current developers over at Bungie. And there's a lot to say, but essentially, just it's been kind of a hostile work environment ever since the, let's see, there's a figure here somewhere, all the layoffs, about 100 of 1,200. Okay, so almost 10% of employees when those happened a while ago. Tensions have been high. I saw a separate tweet. I don't think this was in the article of someone from within Bungie, and they had like an all hands meeting, and they ask, "Hey, were budget cuts from like C-suite levels considered at any point so that we avoid any kind of like further cuts to staff, or like so that more employees don't get displaced?" And their response was, "Bungie isn't that kind of company," which tells you everything you need to know about the executive level and the kind of employee level. Things are really rough right there right now. I'll stop there for a second to see if you guys have any thoughts.
I do. Well, I kind of just bring up some quotes from the article about that kind of stood out to me with how the developers there are trying their best, and like you said, it's kind of scary to go into work for a lot of them. Like one excerpt that I remember reading was that things are so bad that employees are afraid to go into work, expecting that they might be next or one of their friends might be next because of the layoffs, and that they're worried that if Final Shape doesn't do well, more layoffs are to be expected. And the way things are going in Destiny right now, with how low the player numbers are, even if the seasons are quote unquote good, nobody's playing them to talk about them. More than likely, Final Shape isn't going to do as big as past expansions have done. So more than likely, unfortunately, Final Shape is not going to be this big, huge hurrah send off from what I've seen in the Destiny community and how things are going right now. So that's scary. And I can imagine much more scarier for the people that are working there. And the devs are also telling the leadership the things that they need to do, and the leadership is still under the impression that all we have to do is win back the fans. They still love us, is what I think one of them said. And the employee there said, like, no, they don't love us. That's why we have to listen to the data that I have here and make these changes, but they aren't given the freedom to do that for whatever reason. So as you said, with the C-suite and the people at the top not getting the cuts, but the people who are trying to make the changes aren't even getting the chance to make the changes so they don't lose their job, it's just so backwards to me. I don't understand it.
I like in this article as well, Christian, that it details the company's board, because previously I was curious how their board was structured and like how that worked, because there hadn't been really any information on that. And apparently, according to IGN, which they're sourcing here in this article, PlayStation Studios head Herman Holst is on the board, with Sony Senior Vice President Eric Lempel, Bungie co-founder Jason Jones, who is the only founder left, Bungie CTO Luis Villegas. I'm not familiar with him, but interesting. And then Pete Parsons, which Pete from what I gather, Pete is one of the biggest problems, and apparently he serves as a tiebreaker vote on the board. So essentially, Pete holds a lot of power there. It's difficult because without us knowing exactly what's happening and which executives are the problem and which ones are not, it is very difficult because I have very fond memories of Jason Jones, and he is the only founder left at Bungie. And obviously, he doesn't control the company anymore. The board does. He's just a member of that board. So I don't know if Jason is part of this or not. I hope not. I would like to think not, because I think he's in the past been a pretty cool dude. But yes, this is terrible, and I hope that whatever negativity is at the top is cut out and gotten rid of, but probably won't happen, unfortunately.
And unfortunately, it gets worse. With this article, we got news as well of a potential Sony takeover, just based on how the deal was made. And this is kind of towards the top of the article. With the exact details of Sony's deal to acquire Bungie, while the exact details of Sony's deal to acquire Bungie remain unknown to the public or employees, sources say that they were told by leaders that the current split board structure is contingent on Bungie meeting certain financial goals. If Bungie falls short of certain financial thresholds by too great an amount, Sony is allowed to dissolve the existing board and take full control of the company. And with I think this is kind of what Ro mentioned as well. And with Destiny 2 expansion, the final shape delayed into the next fiscal year, and Bungie still investing heavily on Marathon, many employees understand that Bungie is struggling to meet the necessary targets to keep its last vestige of freedom. Such a takeover wouldn't necessarily be shocking given its 2022 acquisition, but it would nevertheless be a stunning development for a company that has historically prided itself on its independence. And of course, it was a big celebration when they did become independent, and now here they are facing this takeover, which is sad to think about.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize this has almost happened before when they were in their Activision deal. Activision made their deal with Bungie for Destiny. They had a target date for Destiny 2. Bungie basically said, we need a little more time, and Activision essentially threatened them and said, if you don't release this game on this date, we are enacting whatever fucking weird clause they inserted in there that's basically they'd take ownership of Bungie. And it seems like something similar in this contract, which if you're Bungie, why the fuck would you agree to a contract if independence is as important to you as your company's history illustrates, as them leaving Microsoft and wanting to become independent to make their own game, and them leaving Activision after a shitty arrangement that they had with them. Like, why would you take this deal? I don't understand why, if that's something so important to you. I get that they need funding for Destiny 2, but man, I don't know.
I agree. It's scary to think about what the future at Bungie might look like, especially how rocky it is right now. And like Dan said, it's weird the decisions that they've made with that, but just like with Destiny too, like they just do some weird stuff sometimes. That's just like you're doing such good things in certain aspects, and then you turn around and do just, I don't know. It's just confusing at times what they're doing. Like earlier this week, they need the money. I understand that, but they did like a starter pack thing that everybody hated.
Oh,
with
they
like
took it out, right?
They did delete it, but why do it in the first place? Like, why? Like, it's bad. At least I'm glad they deleted it, I guess. But the stuff that was in that starter pack was somebody bought that. They removed it, but somebody bought that, and they got absolutely ripped off. And Bungie made away with that money.
Yes.
But it's like the stuff that's in there is like useless. And the people who are the starters that are buying it are like, oh, this is what I need to be successful in Destiny. Like, no, all of those are like horrible guns, like terrible. But yeah, it's just stuff like that where it's like, press is already so bad. Why did you make this? Try to do the good stuff. And I guess the good stuff was them removing it, but I don't know. It would have been better if they just did it in the first place. I don't know.
I agree, Ro. Maybe that's just leadership, to be honest. Just kind of
Maybe, yeah.
forcing their hand. You know what I mean?
Probably is. Yeah.
One would venture so. Okay. That is it for our news of the week. Before we get into the topic of the show, let's stop real quick at our fantasy draft check-in because, of course, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora didn't release today. I'm sorry. Reviews dropped today, and listen, I know it was a Hail Mary. I was really hoping something would come of this, and I was hoping for like a low 70s at the very least, just something. And it's currently at a 69
Nice.
open critic average. Not nice for my fantasy draft because that puts me at -1, which means I need a second miracle for me to take it. Plan B is enacting as we speak, fellas.
So Silk Song, is it coming out tomorrow?
Of course not. Of freaking course not. What do you want from me, Dan?
If Silk Song doesn't come out, Dan wins for the millionth time in a row.
A million times. We've only done 3 of these.
I know.
Is
But
this
still,
the third?
2 in a row, isn't it? Right?
Is
Or
it
is it
the-
the second? Maybe it's the second.
Yeah, this is the second, I think. Right?
I think it's the second.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the second, I think.
It is. You're right.
But I mean, we can fortune tell and say, I'll win the next
gonna
one
win
too.
the God damn it.
My taste in good games is just too good, guys. Sorry.
And I can't even say
Look.
that you got the first pick because you didn't.
No, I didn't. You're right. I got the last pick, I think, for being first last year.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
Let's go.
All we know for sure is that Gage is not a real contender.
No.
Has not been for most of the year even.
Man,
A real contender.
the man spent all of his money the first 3 days.
That was awesome. I can't lie. That was pretty awesome. Anyway, for again topic of the show, let's catch up on what's going on with us. So Daniel, what you got for me?
I've got a little update. I played Remnant 2 with Gage, and it's now in Game Pass, of course, with the first game as well. But we dove into Remnant 2. Never even played these games, never even knew anything about these games, and had a heck of a lot of fun with it, actually. It's a really fun third-person shooter that is very hard. It is definitely, like, Gage first told me that this was like a, Soulsborne-esque hardness shooter, and I was like, fuck that, I don't want to play this. And he's like, just fucking play it, it's in Game Pass. I'm like, whatever. And I will say I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It is a ton of fun. Like, me and Gage literally wandered around for hours around the map, not knowing what the fuck we're supposed to do in terms of the objective, because it doesn't handhold you. There's no objective markers. There's no map. There's no real quality map, I'll call it. But like, just wandering around, I was having so much fun. Like, the monsters were cool. The puzzles were really cool. Like, there was this really neat puzzle that was so satisfying. Like, we had to start this chain of events by pulling a lever, and it essentially has this massive platform of electricity that slowly drops on you, and you have to go around in a circle around this giant theater, fighting through enemies around the theater while you're slowly making your way down the stairs until you get all the way to the bottom, and you have to destroy things on your way to like clear paths. And those fucking moments when you're stopping to clear those paths are fucking intense, because you got the ceiling closing in on you of the electric barrier. And there was so many times at the end that Gage was like, no, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. I fucking pushed the lever again. He's like, damn it, Dan, I'm done. I don't want to do it again. And the last time we did it, everyone was dead except for me. And I fucking got to the very last section. So there's like multiple sections. I got to the last section. I knew it was the last section, and I fucking plowed through that shit and got to the end, and I was so fucking proud of myself. That was awesome. Ton of fun. Love that game so far.
It was Revenant too.
Remnant. Yeah.
Remnant.
Yeah, the TikToks when I saw this game when it came out were insane, and like what surprised me about it is how like deep the rabbit hole of that game goes. Like once you beat it is like when the actual game begins. Kind of similar to like when you get to like the end game of Destiny. It's like all right, here's where the real game begins because like things start to open up and there's like tons of like you know different areas, different secret, like a lot of secrets in this game. Just like a lot of like surprises, and I heard that like the actual gameplay is pretty fun. So
Yes.
surprised that game didn't get more love in some kind of like nominations for like best multiplayer or something because that game like was like kind of impressive with like what it, especially with like co-op. Like what is happening on your screen? Like let's say someone gets grabbed by an enemy, and you see them get grabbed. The like sync on that is like so good. It's like it's like milliseconds. Like the other person who got grabbed is like it's happening right at the same time, and you know you'll get teleported instantly to somewhere else and what have you. So looks like a cool game. I was planning on you guys were having so much fun on the mic because we were in Discord. I was like, I kind of want to. If you guys are jumping into this, I want to jump into this, and we looked it up to see if it was crossplay, and it was not. So I decided not to get it. That's it. That's it from you.
That's it. Yeah. No more Alan Wake yet. I'm working on it. I'm working.
Bro.
I played more Super Mario. I talked about it last week that I started playing it, but I didn't really say anything besides that. But yeah, it's going good so far. I think I did mention I didn't play the original. I'm finding it really cool. I like the story so far. The gameplay is like if you're familiar with the Mario and Luigi games, it's pretty similar to that, where it's just turn based, and when you perform an attack, you have like a certain amount of time to hit the A button to double your damage or whatever the effect of your move is. So there's like the action button or whatever. So that's cool. That's fun. Yeah, it's just honestly pretty pretty straightforward turn-based RPG stuff. Nothing too crazy besides the obvious remakification of it all. And I really like how they did that. How they brought that game into this generation. It looks really pretty. And I think the stuff that they do in that game to make it unique is very fun. Like they have a lot of they play with the genre a lot, and I think they did a good job. It makes it entertaining to read and go through the story. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Incredible. What's new with me, fellas? What is new with me? What do I have for you this week? What did I write down here? Oh, my friend hit me up over the weekend, and he goes, "Hey, should I buy a MetaQuest 3?" And I call him up. I'm like, "Dude, are you about to buy a VR headset?" And he's like, "I'm thinking about it." And so I gave him an honest answer. I told him, "Yes, if you plan to like also get a PC." And he's been talking about getting a PC for a while. He even went so far as to like buy some peripherals for it, like just in case he gets it down the line. So he has like a nice keyboard, like a gaming keyboard. He has the same mouse I have, which is like the G series like gaming mouse. Bought himself a desk, everything, preparing himself to buy a PC. Just hasn't bought it yet. And he decides there's like a deal at Best Buy. I kind of want to get it. And I was like, dude, if you get it, we'll play some games. I can recommend you a few. I can buy you some on the Quest Store and gift them to you. Let me know if you get it, and we'll set it up together and we'll play. He sends me a picture of him in the car with his Quest 3 box, and I'm like, all right, dude. I guess I'm hooking mine up to charge right now. And yeah, so we played a couple games. We did have to troubleshoot. Some games were not working for him. We tried playing Walkabout Mini Golf, and he had some issues.
Really?
He told me he fixed it now. I have no idea what it was, but scrolling Reddit pages, it seems like, yes, there's some Quest 3 compatibility issues with some of the games on the Quest Store, which is not good. I showed him the rock climbing games in Rec Room, and he hit his fan with his hand because he didn't know where he was in his room, which was great. And we finally jumped into Among Us VR. It is scary being in that game in VR, and then you're doing your little tasks, and then somebody like whoever the imposter is, like turns the lights off, and it is dark.
Oh shit.
You don't hear anything, and it's actually even scarier because like the 3D audio of the ambiance of like that empty spaceship can get pretty scary. You'll just hear like the fans going, and you don't know if it's like somebody nearby or what. It is scary. My only criticism with this game is the audience for it. Like the player base is nothing but children, dude. It was children and like young high schoolers. So the fact we're like after 5 games, I was like, I'm done. I can't deal with trying to talk to kids anymore because it's just it's not a good time. It's not a good time. Other than of course Alan Wake 2. I'm 19, 20 hours in. I'm pretty close to the end, and full disclosure, I guess, I also got assigned an Alan Wake video for DualShockers, so I'm kind of also doing some capture for that, and it's a lot of fun. That game continues to be more and more impressive every single time I play it. The way that game, like the rap, it's so impressive even that it spawned a couple of video essay ideas, and I've now reopened my video essay like list of ideas, my idea list. And it grew. And I realized today, I was like, yeah, I got to finish my Signalis video ASAP. So that's being opened as soon as Game Awards like assignments are done. I'll be cracking that one back open.
Oh, sorry, Gage. I missed his comment. Remnant 2 is very fun. Papa carried me, he says. And then he said it is crossplay, Christian, between PC Game Pass and Xbox only. So I guess Windows Store and Xbox.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So because so I can play it.
Yeah.
By getting it on PC Game Pass with you lot. Okay. So we thought something different though.
Yeah, it's not crossplay between anything else.
Okay.
They're working on that, I guess.
Okay. All right. That is it for everything except for topic of the show. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Fellas, the Game Awards 2023 are tomorrow. We're expecting a lot of reveals. I mean, Jeff has been hyping it up. He says there's a lot of like new stuff coming out. So we're going to go through. I don't know why I said all that and then like went the complete opposite way. We've already done the announcement predictions, but we want to know who is winning this year. Who's going to take some of the biggest prizes this year? So we're going to go through. I've selected 14 of the biggest categories here. We're not doing all of them. We'll read out the nomination. We'll read the nominations, and we can predict who we think will win. And then, just as a fun aside, we can say who we would like to win. That sound fair?
Yeah.
I forgot to mention this, Dan. You don't have any way to show audience like your screen, right? Like,
yeah, I could. Let me just see where I can place it on the feed here.
If not, don't we have like a live streaming one for like 3 people? Put it on that one.
Do I?
Don't you?
That's a good question. Game.
Because I could see everything earlier, and now everything is like grayed out.
Oh.
Which doesn't make for a nice experience when I'm trying to look at this. I miss the color. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We can just keep going.
I do have this Game Awards thing, but give me 1 second, and I will have it for you. Sorry to everyone on audio, but such is life sometimes. All right,
I don't like that they did this. Why can't they just do like a banner at the top saying voting closed, and not let you click it? Why do they have to grade all these categories out?
Yeah, it looks like they all died.
This looks fundamentally not nice now.
Why did you do this to us, Game Awards? Oh yeah, this will work.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm good. I have to fix the cameras, but I can do that while we're going here. You know, it's just a little jacked up. You know, if Gage was here, it would have worked perfect. Let me just say that because it's set for 4 cameras. Just gonna throw that out there, Gage. You know. Oh, you know what I could do though?
This guy.
Even better idea. Work smarter, not harder, right?
Correct.
What do you
Boom.
do?
Look at that. Aha.
Nice.
And now we're in a four person. That's nice. That's smart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Except, why am I on there twice? I don't understand that. Oh, because it's my Discord cam. Oh. So I'm Gage today also on my Discord cam. But, you know.
That works.
It doesn't matter.
2 different angles. This is weird.
So we're going to go through and in reverse order, leading up to Game of the Year, we got 14 categories, starting with, Dan, I think if you click that link, it'll take you to like the main website. It takes you to Game of the Year. Click on View All Categories and then scroll down. You'll see Best Multiplayer Game down there. I guess third to last row. Second to last column. Best Multiplayer.
You got it. Got it.
Yes. And my apologies. These were colorful voting clothes, and they grayed them out. Rose right. It looks like the party animals, crocodiles, dead. You know.
In memoriam.
Yeah.
Party.
So
too
I got
hard.
party too hard. Facts. I have a separate spreadsheet here that I'm using privately to write down the predictions, so nothing is going to happen on the actual run of show document. Let's go ahead. The order is just Dan and Christian Rowe. It's the way I see it on Discord. So, best multiplayer. Your categories are Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Daniel.
Did you see what I'm sorry, did you see what I added? Not Gage to the I added not to the Gage text.
There we go.
Sorry.
Just in case anyone was confused.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, best multiplayer. So I'm choosing which one I think will win or which one I want to win.
Which one you think will win? We're predicting the winners. You can say which one you would like to win.
Okay. Fair. Which one do I think will win? I will say I'm gonna say Diablo 4.
Diablo 4.
Yeah, I'm not real confident on this one. This is kind of a toss up, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it's close. I think there's a sneaky chance that Dark Horse Street Fighter 6 could take it in this regard. If I'm being honest, you might be honest something with Diablo 4. Like that one is more of like when I think of like a co-op experience. That one, I think there's going to be a lot of people voting Baldur's Gate 3 down the line. People will be voting a lot for Diablo 4. Maybe not. I think if you're going to give it to anyone, it might be this one. But just for the sake of consistency, I think people were so high on Baldur's Gate 3 that even the co-op experience was like a fundamental, like enjoyable way to experience that game, and many people did. I think doing Baldur's Gate 3 for best multiplayer is going to be my pick.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna agree with Dan on this one with Diablo 4 for the pick. I want Street Fighter 6 to win, but I feel like I'm trying to remember what is in best fighting game, but I guess we'll get to it later. But I feel like will have a better chance there. So I'm gonna go with Diablo 4 for my pick.
Hell yeah. We're on the same way.
I guess I'm an idiot then.
No.
I'm joking. Dan, if you hit previous at the top like 3 times, you'll go straight to best fighting game.
Best fighting game. Best family.
Best
fighting game. There we go.
The categories for best fighting game are God of Rock. I didn't even hear about this game, man. I'm sorry. Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, Pocket Bravery, and Street Fighter 6.
This is another tough one. Like, fuck. Mortal Kombat 1, I guess. I I think I've heard good things about Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, though.
I have as well.
Yeah. So maybe that one will win. I don't. Fuck. I'm gonna say MK1 though.
Okay, and I'm going absolutely Street Fighter 6. I think that one is going to easily take it.
You think so? Okay.
Yes.
I agree. I feel like when you said it was a hard
do that.
choice between Mortal Kombat 1 and Street Fighter 6 for this one, and I know still think Street Fighter 6 takes it in my opinion.
What are you doing? What are you working on?
I was curious what the open critics were, and you guys are way smarter than I am because Street Fighter is way better than Mortal Kombat. I started to open it on the tab that I'm showing the screen, and then I'm like, wait, I can't do that.
Yeah, type in PORN
No.
HB period COM.
Yeah.
Dan, hit previous for me one more time, and we'll head on over into Best RPG.
Hell yeah.
I guess I should also read Best RPG for the best game design with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. Your nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, for some reason, Sea of Stars, and Starfield.
Rich player customization and progression.
The fact you have to think about it this long is crazy.
Well, I mean, I think that one of these there's a lot of claim for from like fans, and the other one is like a dark horse. I feel like so I'm gonna say Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, same. No question.
Final Fantasy 16 was the one I was debating between.
No, that one will not win.
Okay.
In any regard, like I think Baldur's Gate 3 blows Final Fantasy out of the water.
Okay.
That's where I'm at too. Baldur's Gate 3. I want Sea of Stars to win, even though I didn't even play.
That would be nice.
Just like get some little attention there. I'm glad that it's there though. That's great.
Yes, absolutely. I think this may be the only place I saw Starfield. I think.
Starfield,
right, we're gonna,
a good game,
yeah.
but probably not worthy.
We're gonna shift on over into Best Action Adventure. We there?
I'm looking for it.
You just hit previous ones.
Oh, I missed that. So I got it. Sorry.
Best Action Adventure for the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. Your nominees are Alan Wake 2, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And let me tell you, this might be the hardest category to decide what takes it.
Yes, agreed. Frick. I'm gonna say, fuck, I don't know. I'm gonna say Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. But
TOTK.
But a personal favorite would be Alan Wake 2 and Resident Evil 4 as well. I'm copping out by saying all three of them, but yeah.
I think Zelda's a good pick. However, I'm playing the game of like the way winners usually are with like things like the Oscars and previous Game Awards, where they kind of like, okay, it will probably sweep in the later categories down the line. For kind of these a bit smaller, more niche categories, I think it's where you give others a chance to shine. Like, you know, what games in this category like really exemplify best action adventure? And I think it's two of them, I think, is where my line of thinking is, and that's Spider-Man 2 and Resident Evil 4.
Really?
Yeah, and there was a lot of critical acclaim for RE4, I think.
Yes.
However, I think there may be like with recency bias of Spider-Man 2 And with the way that game was received, especially for its combat and its traversal around the city, I think this is the one winner where Spider-Man 2 gets the win.
Hmm. Also a good video game. This is a really tough category.
PXN gave it like a 7.5, I think.
Yeah.
Huh. My head is still with Tears of the Kingdom as well. I think it's going to start sweeping like at this point to Game of the Year. Maybe not in every category, but this is where it's going to start. I think it's sweep. But I think I'm just going to go with Tears of the Kingdom for this one.
Oh yeah.
As well. I'm having a hard time deciding between it and Resident Evil.
So you're saying TOTK?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, I should have done this differently.
Ooh.
If I do numbers like this, I think that'll... And I'll figure something out. Don't worry. Hold on here.
Fine. It's totally fine.
Eh. I should have done this as like a sheet, like a Google sheet instead of like a table on Google Docs, because the lines are a little bit messed up. If I do best act, add the, boom, all the lines are the same now, and I can just look on over and everything. Perfect. Yay. Okay. We're gonna shift over to best action game. I think that's just, if you just hit previous once, it takes you straight to best action game.
Yep.
For the best game in the action genre focused primarily on combat, your nominees are Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush, and Remnant 2.
Man. Fuck. This is difficult, but I think this has to be Hi-Fi Rush. Like, the fucking Hi-Fi Rush got, snubbed elsewhere, which, we've talked about. I think this is it. But Remnant 2, a shout out again for that after playing that. That well-deserved there.
You know what? I think you're onto something with that Hi-Fi Rush bit. I think in an ideal society, I think this is the one where like Armored Core takes it, because that's a good game. And I do think that is probably like, when I think of like intense, like focused action, it does not get like more peak than Armored Core 6. But I also, have to think about who is the board consisting of. And like, is Armored Core is already a niche title with like gamers, capital G. It's probably even more niche with a lot of like the voting committee. And I think of those, when you look at the nominees here, I think everybody on that nominee board played Hi-Fi Rush. Most people on the nominee board probably loved Hi-Fi Rush. I think that we'll be voting Hi-Fi Rush. So yes, I agree. I would like AC6 to win though.
I am predicting Hi-Fi Rush would win. I also want Hi-Fi Rush to win for the same reasons that Christian was saying, but that's why I think it'll win for the reasons Christian was saying. But I also think that, like Dan was saying, it was snubbed in other categories, and I think a lot of people, especially at the end of the year, were saying like, don't forget about Hi-Fi Rush, and this being the only category I think that it's in, people are going to vote for it, especially those people that are upset that it didn't get its place in other categories. So I think this is its place to win.
This time last year, we didn't even know about that game. Insane.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's move on over into best debut indie. That might be like a couple of clicks of previous 3 of them. Is that right?
Yep.
Cool. Best debut indie game. For the best debut game created by a new independent studio, your nominees are Cocoon, Dredge, Pizza Tower, Venba, and Viewfinder.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is gonna be one that I'm not gonna get right. I'm gonna tell you right now, I've not played any of these games to my own fault. I do know Viewfinder. I know what that is. That's probably the one I'm most familiar with on this list. And Cocoon, of course, you guys have talked about. So I'm gonna say Cocoon. Just throw a shot in the dark there.
Cocoon did really good review-wise.
Okay. So,
Yeah, not with me. I think the real head-to-head like battle is gonna go between Dredge and Pizza Tower.
Yep.
I think Pizza Tower has less of an audience than Dredge, though. I think nominee-wise, it's got the love certainly, but I still think even as like an indie game within the games industry, it's still like I don't think enough people played Pizza Tower for it to be the actual winner. So I think Dredge is the one that gets the win here.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Pizza Tower just to be to be different.
Oh, yeah.
But it was between those two for me too. Like I remember my timeline just being full of Pizza Tower fan art, and like everybody was talking about that game for a good chunk of time. This is a good game, and Dredge the same. I heard really good things about both of those games, but I'm gonna go with Pizza Tower.
Okay.
Venba also
Eh,
great things, but
yeah, sure.
not as much as the other two.
Then similarly, click previous one more time, and we'll get Best Independent Game for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. Cocoon, Dave the Diver, which I think, given the controversy, cannot win. I don't think will. Dredge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder.
Yep, this will be another one that I fucking fail on. So let's just say Cocoon again. Fuck it. I got to be right on one of them, right?
We ball, yeah.
Or none of them.
Or none of them.
Picking Dredge in the last quarter category really kind of messed with me because I think there's a chance it could win this. And if it wins this, I don't think people will be voting for it in Best Debut. I think Pizza Tower probably would have gotten it. So I'm going to go with Sea of Stars because I know that one is very much beloved.
Yes. I think this is where Sea of Stars gets its award too.
Shit.
I'm gonna go with Sea of Stars. People wanted this in Game of the Year, so
that's
fair.
I'm assuming that it at least wins here.
Are you guys ready for the back half of the bigger awards now? Like this is where like the real stuff begins.
It all begins.
Yeah.
Then let's go into Best Performance. Dan, are we there?
Best performance. We are there.
Awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and/or performance capture. Your nominees are, and there are 6 of them: Ben Starr for Final Fantasy XVI, Cameron Monaghan for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Idris Elba for Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, Melanie LeBird for Alan Wake 2, Neil Newbin for Baldur's Gate 3, and Yuri Lowenthal for Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
I've been seeing Ben Starr all over the fucking place. This man appears everywhere, so I feel like I should go with him. But I don't know if his performance is actually that good in that game because I've never played it. So it is good. Okay, I'm gonna say Ben Starr then. That's my guess.
I mean, everybody's good on this list technically.
You are so right for saying I'm seeing this man everywhere because if to a certain extent, I think the Game Awards is kind of a popularity contest sometimes. I think this might be the case. Granted, though, like remember when Lady Dimitrescu won? I forget the actress's name, but like that was a surprising one. So there's a chance I think that maybe Neil could take it for Baldur's Gate 3. But I am also going to say Ben Starr, Final Fantasy 16.
Me too. That was going to be my vote as well. Come me fruit. Can't do his voice, but he was really good in that game.
Yes.
I find it funny that Idris Elba is here. Not that he didn't do a good job in Phantom Liberty. It's like I just think it was.
And like, is this award gonna mean as much to Idris Elba as it will to some of these other actors? Probably
Right.
not. Yeah. Idris will be like,
Is he
"Fuck
even gonna
that."
be there? Is
Yeah,
he
exactly.
even gonna be there?
No, probably not.
Keanu
one
accepts
sec.
awards on his behalf.
I have to adjust my spacing here so that everything aligns one more time. But I think we're good now. Okay. Let's shift on over. Click once. You'll go to Best Audio Design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. We have
Man, fuck.
Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and Resident Evil 4.
This is difficult. Dead Space Remake's fucking sound is absolutely phenomenal. Like, I gotta say Dead Space. Like, yeah, Dead Space.
Sorry, I'm adjusting things one more time. That
But
didn't fit.
shout outs to Alan Wake 2 as well.
I think in an ideal world, what Alan Wake 2 does with its audio design in the back half of that game is so impressive and just refreshing in an industry that I think it should be the winner here. And I think also there's a chance it could even win.
Yeah.
However, I think what Motive did with Dead Space, I think, is technically so impressive on its own right, and the fact that they even have like their own like dedicated YouTube video on audio alone, I think might push it for like Alan Wake 2 will get some flowers in separate categories. It might be time for like Dead Space to get its flower here in its one category. So yeah, I'm also going to say Dead Space.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just copying you guys now, but yeah, I was gonna say Dead Space as well. For what Christian said, like as someone who isn't a horror game person, I still heard about Dead Space's design and sound from people who do like horror games. So that's what I was gonna go with, just from word of mouth. Hi-Fi Rush, obviously, its game is music. I don't know if sound design is a good way to describe it though. Like it has great music. I guess sound design,
You know
because
what,
everything is
that's-
like sync to the beat as well. So there's like a gameplay aspect to it, but it has good music. But is it like good sound design, or is it just good
You know what?
like people on the sound team who did a good job with the music?
Can I change my answer?
Oh, he's
Yeah, we're
changing
still in the
it?
category, so why not?
Hi-Fi
Changing
Rush.
it?
I'm changing to
There we
Hi-Fi
go.
Rush.
There we
Bro,
go.
you convinced me, because I thought the same argument, but as you were saying that, I'm like, that game has fucking banging music, and like that's the whole premise of the game. And yeah, I'm gonna say Hi-Fi Rush.
There we go.
Complete 180 there.
You're so funny, dude. All right, that's locked. Now let's go into best score and music for outstanding
fuck.
music, inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. The
Okay.
nominees are
Well,
Alan Wake 2, composer Petri Alonko. Baldur's Gate 3, composer Borislav Slavov. Final Fantasy 16, composer Masayoshi Soken. Hi-Fi Rush, audio director Shuichi Kobori. And The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, composed by Nintendo Sound Team.
well, fuck.
Where we're going, Daniel?
You
Yeah.
can still choose him. You can still choose him again.
I know.
Seems like you might be wrong for the last one.
I probably will. Now that I didn't realize that was my own fault. I should have looked. Hi-Fi Rush. One of them has to be right. I mean, I'll get a 50%. Better than nothing.
Again, in an ideal world, what Alan Wake 2 does with its score and the music and the way that involves gameplay is unprecedented in the game space. This should be the winner. It will not. It will be Final Fantasy 16 for its grand epic score that like really, really took over. Like when that game releases, like this is like the pinnacle of like soundtrack. It is so good. And I think that one was like confirmed the first one to be like they were going to be doing like a performance of that, and it makes sense because of how like sweeping it is.
I'm gonna go with Tears of the Kingdom
Wow.
for my choice. I think the soundtrack in that game is
Dude,
incredible. It's
yes.
like so
Yeah.
good. There's scenes that like made me tear up, honestly, for what
Yes.
they did with some of like the melodies of old games and mixing with the new stuff. Like it was insane. So I'm gonna pick that one.
I have
And
3 automatically in
oh
my mind. That
yeah,
like I can pinpoint 3 times I got teared up because of the music.
yeah, it was really good, really really good. I think all of our choices were good choices though for this particular category, but I'm gonna go with Tears of the Kingdom.
Gage says best audio is the hardest category this year. No outliers, all bangers.
Yeah, I agree. Before we move on, Ro, do you remember the Colgera fight in Tears of the Kingdom?
How could I forget?
Remember the
God.
music in that scene? That
Yeah.
was fucking insane. That was I had the smile on my face during that. Was what a game. Where are we going? Oh yeah. Let's click left. Previous. Go into best art direction. Another tough one. For outstanding creative and/or technical achievement in artistic design and animation, your nominees are. It's a hard because it's a hard one.
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
I'm gonna say Super Mario Brothers Wonder because a lot of people were very stoked about that art design and animation compared to the new Super Mario Brothers style. And I want to pick Hi-Fi Rush again. That's my personal pick, but I feel like I'm putting too many eggs in their basket and then I'll get them all wrong. So, yeah.
And I will say that I'm just going to start the Alan Wake 2 sweep here as well. Keep going, Alan Wake 2.
Oh, wow.
You can make the case for any of them, and I'd be like, yeah, you're right.
Yes.
This will win. But I'm
True.
going Alan Wake 2.
And I'm gonna go with Hi-Fi Rush on this one. I think they did some really cool stuff with the cutscenes and the transitions in that game from 2D to 3D.
Yes.
And just like gameplay, obviously looked beautiful to me. So I'm gonna go with Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh yeah.
Best narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. We have Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, Final Fantasy 16, and Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
I think this is going to be between Alan Wake 2 and Baldur's Gate 3. It's just I'm not as versed on Baldur's Gate 3 to be able to speak educatedly on it. So I'm going to say Alan Wake 2 because so far the narrative is really good and just fucking bananas and I love it. So
Alan Wake 2.
I'm gonna go with Baldur's Gate 3.
wow.
I want it to be Phantom Liberty though.
That's fair.
Okay. 2 more. We have now, penultimate one. Best Game Direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
This might be the hardest
It's
one.
hard. It's hard, dude.
Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. From that, I feel like I would say Alan Wake 2 or Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom from that description for me. Now, which one do I pick? I'm going to say Tears of the Kingdom's going to win. Who the fuck knows?
Who the fuck knows? Let me write that down for you. You said TOTK.
Yeah.
The thing is, I can make the case easily for Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, and Tears of the Kingdom. And again, it'd be like, yep, makes sense. I can see it. That's the winner for sure. I really don't know. I hard year. Good games this year, huh?
Yeah.
I think I don't think you get any of those 3 games that I just mentioned without like outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. I think of those, the highest Alan Wake 2 probably is the one that like closely resembles that for me. But I haven't even mentioned Tears of the Kingdom anywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about Ro, do you want to go real quick? Can I
Okay.
do that?
Sure. I think I'm gonna pick. I think I'm gonna pick Alan Wake 2 for this one. Just from what
Any
I've
reason why?
just what I've seen. No really deep answer for that one, and it's because I did pick Tears of the Kingdom. So it's kind of the opposite, and I haven't picked Alan Wake yet. So I think this where
It's a hard one, dude.
it would get my vote if I were on the board.
I'm gonna ride with Dan and just go Tears of the Kingdom.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We made it to Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and all technical fields. 6 nominees. Your nominees are Alan Wake 2 by Remedy, Baldur's Gate 3 from Larian Studios, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac Games, Resident Evil 4 from Capcom, Super Mario Bros. Wonder from Nintendo, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom from Nintendo.
Another really difficult one. For me, the only one that stands out is Spider-Man 2. I don't know that it necessarily hits the Game of the Year mark because of all the bugs and everything. Technically speaking, I don't think that game was as good as it could be. But gosh, this is hard.
Can I also say that as someone who I really like the story of Spider-Man 2, and I still haven't played it. I think we talked about this before, but I feel like out of all the games, that one is the one that's stealing the spot from somebody else. Now that I'm
Yeah.
looking at it, like
Spider-Man 2? Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I feel like somebody else should be there, like Hi-Fi Rush or Sea of Stars or whatever else. That's the one. That's the one I would.
Agreed.
Did I mess this up?
What did you mess up? What?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Damn.
What happened?
Spider-Man
Oh, no, I'm stupid.
Oh.
2. Oops.
All right, so Game of the Year. I'm gonna say Tears of the Kingdom, because fuck it, that game's great. I still haven't beaten it, but I'll beat it one day soon, hopefully. Alan Wake 2, I still have 5 hours in, but I'm sure that game's banging as well. Resident Evil 4, I feel like that's a personal high mark for me. I know, it didn't get 10s or whatever, but that's a very good game for me. So shout out to that as well.
TOTK, you said?
Yes. Tears of the Kingdom.
Nobody has rallied around a game this year quite like people have with Larian Studios' Baldur's Gate 3. I think that game embodies what it means to be a proper like S tier kind of upper echelon video game that like really anyone can kind of get into. One that is like enthralling, one that really captured everyone that like tried it. Mostly everyone that tried it. And like it is very hard to find a single criticism really of that game at all. It is very impressive what Larian has come together. So I am going to say the game of the year, I think this is the one where everyone agrees Baldur's Gate 3 is probably the cream of the crop.
Does everyone agree?
Well, Dan
Ro-
didn't agree technically.
No, I was just waiting for
Oh, I do agree with what Christian said.
Okay.
I do think that Baldur's Gate 3 Gate 3 is going to win, for the same reasons. Like people who weren't even into Dungeon Dragon were interested to give it a shot. Yeah, I feel like everybody was talking about that game for so many different reasons, all positive too. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Baldur's Gate 3. I want Tears of the Kingdom to win. I think there's a universe, a very likely universe where it does. So I don't think Dan was wrong for choosing it at all. But I think Baldur's Gate 3 is gonna win. Tears of the Kingdom gets my vote though. In a different world where I wasn't trying to choose to.
Yeah.
Okay, that is going to do it for us then. We'll be streaming live reactions to the Game Awards tomorrow at
You're listening to
8 p.m. Eastern? Is that right? When does the show start? I don't even know. Anyway, tune in next week to get tune in next week to get a rundown of all the reveals and a list of all the winners, so we can see who got everything right based on our predictions. We'll have all that and more on our topic of the show next week. Yes? What's up?
I just wanted to also mention that Gage also wanted to say Baldur's Gate 3 was his game of the year. It's his choice as well, for anybody who's...
His prediction, at least. Okay. Thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your pods. Until next time, thank you, Roshan. Thank you, me, Gage. Hope you're relaxing, buddy. That's Daniel. And this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out.
Much love and keep on gaming.
What is your game of the year?